What's up, people? Welcome to this episode of the By the Hood podcast or webcast because I don't know how you're consuming this content. I'm your host as always. My name is Jimmy. And as we start off every show, that's with gratitude. Just want to say thank you to anyone and everyone who supports anything we have going on. Special shout out to all the students from By the Hood University, as well as the youth from the By the Hood ownership camp. And I definitely got some news coming up a little bit about the ownership camp. I'm joined by my partner in crime, Corey, as always. Corey, what's up with you, good brother?
What's popping, y'all? You know, every day above ground's a good day. Let's get it going.
Absolutely, man. You know, our platform is designed to highlight brothers and sisters who look just like us, who are out there doing amazing work. And this episode is no different. We got our brother in the building with us. This is a brother who's doing positive work in the community out there in Pleasantville, New Jersey. He owns a barber shop. He's also trading now. He is a member of our mastermind, our MDC mastermind. And we want to make sure we highlight this brother. Also, before I bring him on, I got to let you know that he's also sponsoring a community event that we got coming up this upcoming Sunday. So this episode is dropping Wednesday, 420. So as you enjoy your 420, doing whatever you do on 420, make sure you listen to this episode and understand that this Sunday is when we have the event. But without further ado, man, I got my brother CJ on. CJ, what's up, good brother?
What's good?
How you, man? You all right?
I'm good. I can't complain.
Yeah, man. You know, listen to CJ, man. Trying to sound sexy on the pod, like yo. So, pause that. But yo, man. No, this our guy right here, man. We like to have fun. But so CJ, man, tell us about your journey. Let's start with the beginning. Where are you originally from? Where were you born and raised?
I was born in California, Merced, California, and I was raised in Pleasantville, between Pleasantville and Atlantic City. So I'm from South Jersey,
okay.
California.
What part of California you say?
I was born in Merced. My family's from Merced, Atwater. My mom right now is in San Diego. So I got family all up and down California.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's what's
nice.
up. But you were raised in, you said South Jersey, right?
Yeah, I was raised in South Jersey. Yeah.
All right. So what was it like coming up in South Jersey? Like, what kind of student were you? What kind of trouble did you get into? Like, how was it coming up in Jersey?
I actually got in no trouble. Like, I'm a square. You know, I'm
you like Russell Wilson? I'm joking. I'm joking, by the way. I'm joking.
Nah, way better than Russell Wilson. Nah, like I'm a regular dude, man. I went to Catholic school, and ironically, I learned about Islam in Catholic school. So I became Muslim right out of high school. I went to Pleasantville High School, and I got involved in barbering. I actually started my investing career the same year that I started cutting hair. So that was in 1994, the year Illmatic came out. And so that's when I first got introduced to the markets and to cutting hair.
All right, dude, here's a story I need on. Like, how do you get introduced to Islam in the Catholic school? That's the story I gotta hear. Like, I've never heard that one before.
Every Catholic school makes you go through all the other religions. Because I went to
you got
okay. All right, didn't know that.
Yeah.
Never been to Catholic school. Had no idea.
Yeah, it's actually like I went to Catholic school from kindergarten all the way up to 6th grade, 6th and 7th grade. So probably in the 5th grade, like every year we got a grade on religion.
Okay.
So I think in 5th grade we started covering like Buddhism and Islam. And at the time I was, this is like 1988. So, Big Daddy Kane's out and Grand Poobah and, and Rakim. So I was heavily watching that stuff. And all of them were Muslim. They weren't, at the time, I didn't know the difference between the 5% nation and, real Islam and stuff. But that was my first introduction. And then when they started grading us on Islam, we actually learned the whole story of Prophet Muhammad in Catholic school. Only difference was my teacher told us that it was incorrect, and his story was so similar to Jesus, I couldn't fathom how that could be incorrect. I'm like, how is this? So that's what led me to start researching more, and I didn't fully become Muslim probably until, like I said, I was just getting out of high school, but that's what started my journey. So
that's interesting. I didn't know that, Cole. I didn't know that That's something that they do in Catholic school. I had no
Yeah, my
idea.
son went to Catholic school just up until he was in first grade, and then I went to a Catholic college. So
Okay.
when you take religion, they make you study all the religions. You don't just study Catholicism.
Okay. Interesting. So let me ask you this question. It's been a long time for you at this point. But how has um, you know, becoming practicing Islam, how has that changed your life?
Oh, I mean, they give you a whole purpose for life. You know what I mean? It's not about being perfect or anything, but just gives you balance. You know what I mean? So
Gotcha.
for me, it's I don't like to preach to people or nothing, but it does give me purpose and understanding of why I'm here and what my goal is. So everything in my life, as much as I play around and talk nigga shit and all that, like everything I do is focused around this thing. Like, so my whole schedule is built around my prayers, fasting, like everything is centered around Deen. So
Mm-hmm.
and everything that I do, I'm always look out for black people and specifically black Muslims first. So even like with the event we doing, like a lot of the people I'm reaching out to come through are in the Muslim community, the black Muslim community in particular.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So let me ask you this question in terms of we talked about you owning a barbershop at this point. Um, Talk about your journey into barbering. What was it that made you get into barbering? How that whole thing start? Because you said you started right after high school, right?
No, I started in high school. I was in the 9th grade actually, and
Oh, you started cutting hair in high school.
yeah. And I actually didn't have any I didn't have any passion or interest in cutting hair, and to be honest with you, I still don't. Um, it's just
Oh. So you've been cutting hair how many years?
this is my 26th year.
And you own your own shop, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you say you have no passion to do it.
None at all. I just good at it. You know what I mean? It's something I learned how to do.
Okay. I mean, listen, whatever pay the bills, you can't
like people think that if I showed you my hair under here, like it ain't combed at all. Like I don't have like I don't see people and say, oh, that's, I mean, I might look and say that's a great haircut, but I don't be seeing people here and thinking like, oh, that's what I would do to that. Like it wasn't like that. I started off as a DJ. I used to DJ and I used to make beats. And that's what I was passionate about in 1994. So I literally walked to the barbershop that I was getting my haircut at all the time. It was International Unisex. It was a guy named Mr. Miller. He would give literally anybody a job. And he actually owned 3 barbershops. He was probably the first person in probably all of New Jersey that ever owned multiple barbershops. And so I was inspired by that. And but I literally only went to the barbershop to get a job sweeping the floor so I could have money to buy records back then. So, I would go crate digging, and I mean I used to cut school and go. I would take the New Jersey Transit up to Philly, and I would go to Sound of Market and Funko Land and Funko Mart or whatever. I would just literally go up there, go record shopping, get back on the bus, come home, and I'll go there. And that's how I funded my little DJ career back then. And so I used to sell mixtapes and do parties and all that. And I actually did get very, very close. I had a production deal on the table when I got out of high school. I had did a lot of production work for a few artists, most of the local artists around here I was doing work for. And what happened, my best friend and everybody that was in my group, all of them niggas went to jail. So once they went to jail and my kid was born, that's when I kind of settled in, like, oh, you gotta stick with cutting hair. But cutting hair was literally, I just learned because I was in the barbershop sweeping the floor. Like I wasn't really interested in it like that. But anytime I get involved in anything, I'm gonna try my best to be the actual best at it. So from there, like I went to cosmetology school in high school. So once I graduated from high school, I actually had my cosmetology license. I didn't have to pay anything out of pocket. So I did that. Then I mean, I cut hair out. Like back then, my goal was like, yo, be the best barber in Pleasantville. And then I did that. Then I was the best barber in South Jersey. Then, just back. But when you were a kid, your goal is like, I want everybody in the shop waiting for me. That was the goal.
So you putting on a record that you are the best barber in South Jersey? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that now. I'm saying that I've been.
You say you've been that.
I've been that. Like, you know how now I say King of New York. I've been that.
I've been that. Yeah, I got you. Click clack. Where you and your men's at? I got you. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So that was the goal. Then was like to have the whole shop lined up, like everybody. Other than that, plenty. That ain't even a goal no more. So now, like it went from that. Then I moved on to another barbershop. Like my mentor, he had opened up a shop, and I was there with him, and I managed his shop. Like he literally kind of let it fall apart at one point, and I brought it back. I got the whole thing cooking. Like, so that was not my introduction to business. Like I said, I got introduced to business and investing when I was 14, but I was trained by older brothers that like in the community that actually, like I had somebody kicking it to me about the stock market since 14, 15 years old. We did it. We started an investment club in Atlantic City, and that was 2001. From 2001 to like probably 2010, we had the investment club going. And I actually I started selling real estate in 2002. So from 2002 to 2008, I was involved in the real estate market. When I bought my first house, I went and at the time my realtor was pregnant and she couldn't get around and do a lot. So I was doing a lot of work for her. So when I was helping her with the process, she told me, why don't you go over and get your real estate license? So I said, all right, well, let me go do that. And I did that, and I started investing in properties, and having the license just saved me on the commission. So I kind of got out of the real estate game in 2009. Like once the market tanked, I didn't know what to do. So I just gave it all up. And then that's when I opened up the barbershop. So I didn't really have a goal to open up a barbershop, but it kind of, the shop I was in before then, it kind of fell apart. And I just told myself I don't want to be in that position again where I have to rely on somebody else. So I took the whole team that was with me at that shop. They just came over with me to the place I'm at now. I've been there now for 12 years. So
nice. So let's talk about. I'm gonna get back to your stock investing too, but I'm gonna ask you this question about owning a barbershop and running a barbershop. Like, everybody thinks it's fun and games. Everybody says, I'd love to own a barbershop because they think about it as just being like, I guess like a hangout and they can have fun and make money. But what are some of the stresses or some of the things that people don't know about being responsible, like being the head honcho? You're responsible for all the bills and to make sure things run. Like, what is that like?
I mean, you always gotta, you're forever learning, and so the most important part of being quote unquote the boss is not being the boss, So like the thing with management for me, I don't poke my chest out, and like a lot of people know that I own the shop just because they know, but I don't go around telling people I own the shop. You know what I'm saying? Even in the shop, I'm one of the barbers, so I treat everybody equally. And it's one of them things. Back in the day, I've seen a lot of people that come into the game, and especially people that weren't barbers. They come in I've seen like hustlers and street niggas. They come in and, I want to buy a shop. Why don't you come work in my shop? There's never no incentive for you to work in somebody else's shop, especially if you're not a barber. You know what I mean? So what I've always done, I just looked at all the mistakes that every other shop that I worked at, what they did, and I said, I'm not doing that. So it's one of them things you kind of gotta keep changing with it. Like, so my shop always is constantly changing. Like, I've redecorated 1,000,000 times. I've changed the layout hundreds of times. I started with 5 people. Out of the 5 people I started with, that's why the shop is called Starting 5. I've still got the same, pretty much 3 or 4 of the same people. Like, I don't really change too much. There's different ways to run shops. Like, as you know, you probably know everybody does booth rent. You know,
Yeah.
To be honest with you, that's not what's preferred to do. Like, that's not even what's recommended. But in the world we live in, it's hard to keep staff. So like the easiest way to keep them and to keep a good, set of barbers is to give them their money, like not rape them. So most places what they want to do is work by commission. So my style is as a manager is not to forget that I'm also a barber. So I try to treat the people that work with me in the same manner that I wanted to be treated when I was working in somebody else's shop. And so one of those things, I never say my shop. Like literally, you'll never hear the word mine or, what you doing with my shit. I don't do none of that. Like
Yeah.
This is all us, we, everybody in my shop has a key. And that's one of my rules. Like if I hire you, if I can't give you a key, I can't hire you because there's nothing in you to steal. You know what I mean? So everybody has access to the TV. They, I don't come in there. I mean, they might lie and if they was on here, they might try to play me. But I don't come in there and just turn the TV to something different. I don't play around with the music. I just respect everybody the same way I would want to be respected. So it's more like, we share an apartment. But I have a friend of mine that a good friend of mine. He's got like he owns about 5 or 6 barbershops, and all of his he just started putting them in Walmarts. So he's more he's trying to do like the kind of like the urban feel of Supercuts, and it's working pretty well for him. But the only problem with those style barbershops is the turnover rate is very high, and that's the main problem in it. So it's more, what kind of style barbershop do you want? Do you want the high frequency type, or you want to be more of a grooming lounge? So for me, I do kind of like a mix of both,
Okay.
And then on top of that, I have a salon upstairs. I have a stylist that works next to me, and I have a whole other salon, like a natural hair salon upstairs. So, it's just one of the things you got to constantly change with, because people are always, they always want to have their own. Like, and I don't know what it is in the bar. It's an ego thing, really, but it's like you'll hire someone and they could be doing well. They could be making $100,000 a year right out of your shop, and then their thing is, I gotta have my own shop. And now you run off and get your own place, and now you're paying all the bills. You're not making that $100,000 no more, So that's a kicker,
Yeah, understood. It's about being strategic, like with anything else. So that's interesting, right? Because I had a legendary barber in Philadelphia, tell me one time, like, and it's funny because when you said that, I have no passion for it, but I'm just good at it. But one of the things he told me is, he says, I'm a businessman, I'm not a barber. And I used to say, what do you mean? And he would say, see that vending machine? That's mine. I'm selling these brushes, I'm selling these oils, and I'm cutting hair. And, so what he was basically breaking down to me is it's a mind state. And,
I had the same experience with my barber. He owned the shop, and the thing that he said is that he got, he was like a Frank White. He was like, for nickel diamonds, for nickel bag is sold in the park, he got a little piece. But the thing is, he only got a little piece. He wasn't murdering the people with the chair rent. Like, I think his chair rent was the same. I went to that barbershop for 20 years, and I don't think he ever changed the chair rent. He didn't raise it. He didn't do any of that. But he had, out of that shop, he had 4 out of the 5 barbers. It was only one rotating barber. Like, it was always one chair that it was some new dude. But 4 out of the 5 chairs in the shop was the same people. So,
one thing I can say for me that helped me a lot, I don't know which barbers y'all talking about, but when Instagram first came out, I didn't know how to use Instagram at all. Like, I was using Instagram like I was using Facebook, and just posting food and pictures of my kids playing around, memes.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, somebody introduced me. Fahim from South Philly.
I know you're talking about.
Yeah. So one of my friends down here, he was traveling up there to get his haircut. And so he told me, he said, yo, I want to introduce you to my man. And I'll be honest with you, in the barber industry, we're highly competitive, and we like this. It's crazy. So the nigga in me was like, man, I ain't talking to that nigga. You know what I mean? When he told me, he said, nah, I think he's a good brother, Muslim, like, talk to him. And alhamdulillah, I'm glad that I did, because Fahim taught me, he literally taught me how to elevate my game. And so, like, I had no social media presence as far as a barber back then. This is in 2013, 2014. Mm-hmm. So when at first I used to go to, because I have clients that drive down from Philly. So I made friends with Fahim, and I used to go, like, on Sundays, I would go up to South Philly, and I would just, cut my people that was from up there. And I would just go and work the whole day. And but he didn't want to taught me how to use social media correctly, because I didn't know how to post, I didn't know how to hashtag anything. And so soon as I had to really humble myself and listen to the brother, and he really helped me a lot. He helped me brand my situation, and my follower count went right up. So now, a lot of the things that I do now, like, I know on social media, a lot of people see me cutting a lot of women. And I mean, I've always cut women. I can cut any women, children, white people. It don't matter. I cut anything. Long hair, short hair. But once I saw on social media that was a thing for women, it's like a niche market. There was literally nothing for me to say, all right, well, you know what? I need to hone in on that market, because everybody else is doing bald heads and big beards and, and facials and all that. Like, let them do all that. I'll do this. And if tomorrow, if the hype turns to children or something, I'll do children. If turn to white boys, I'll do white kids. It don't matter to me. Like, it's just business. But I say that to say that's the most important part of this business, is being able to be humble and learn from other barbers. So, like, I don't do that trying to be competitive with everybody, and I ain't hating. Like, I'm friends with all the barbershops around here. One thing that I did do, I'm a co-partner in a barber supply business as well. So my friend, shout out to my boy Rob, he started Universal Barber company. So we started doing hair shows first, and then we moved on to barber supplies. And the best part of the barber supply business was I literally, you ever been to a barber shop and you see the little Chinese guy come in?
Absolutely.
Well, that's what we do, and it's just black owned. And the best part about that was I don't do it anymore. I don't go shop to shop. But when I did that for about 3 or 4 years, where I went to shop selling barber supplies. But it helped me network with other barbers. I can literally see what my competition is doing and what they aren't doing. And I just add to my business. So not only will I get a piece of the money from the sales, also can get insight into what everyone else is doing in their businesses. So it's just about every part of the barber industry I've been involved with. I've taught. I worked at the hair school. Like I said, I did the barber supply. I've done. We used to have a hustle we would run where we would go to. I would go down to the hair shows and we would do a free class, and then from the free class, we would just take sign-ups for advanced education. I mean, we would go, all right, you want to meet us outside? We're going to do another program back home in Jersey. And we had people flying up $600 a pop just to learn how to cut hair, So it's a lot of money in this business. It's very lucrative. Originally, when I got on YouTube, my YouTube page, I was trying to do that, but then everybody and mother does the haircut tutorial thing. So I figured, like, all right, well, nobody does all the shop talk, you know what I mean? So like, I just turned the camera on, and we just barbershop conversations, and it's been pretty decent. You know what I mean? I ain't no money, but
No, that's dope, because branding is a huge part of that, and Instagram. Instagram is made for barbering. Like, even the brother you talked about, I don't know him personally, but I know who he is because of his IG. You know what I'm saying? Like, his IG to the point where I know who you're talking about, but I don't know him personally. Shout out to the brother Fahim, but That's interesting because listening to you tell this story, right? And the funniest thing about this story to me, and it's the one thing I didn't know. Me and you talk almost every day in our groups and whatnot, but I had no idea that like you have no passion for this. That's funny. That's hilarious to me, considering your success and also
all business.
and considering your success and also the fact that you've been in every part of this business, and also listening to you tell the story, it made me realize like it just clicked to me. I'm like, well, running a barbershop is you're getting a little bit of every part of business, right? So I went to business school. So in business school, you learn marketing, you learn management, you learn finance. These are all different courses within the business school. You're dealing with all of that. What you just talked about is branding and marketing, right? You talked about sales, you talked about management. Like you are pretty much in your own version of a business.
And not just money management, experiential management, like
Absolutely.
management of people. So
Absolutely.
not just the money management piece.
HR, he's dealing with HR, like he's dealing with all kinds of different
he's doing
aspects.
all of it.
Every aspect of business you kind of touched on in telling this story, like even the sales part, right? The marketing part, right? The branding part, when you figured out a little niche market that you can focus on. So that's interesting. And again, I still think it's hilarious, even having that conversation that you like, yo, I don't even like this for real. Like, you know, you know what I mean? Like,
I want to be a DJ. I want to spend
records. You sound like one of the rappers that's real nice and be like, yo, this ain't even what I do. I'm not even a rapper. Like, I'm not a rapper.
I mean, I don't need it to sound like arrogant or nothing, but it's I really don't. It's one of them things where like you literally like you can be taught to do this. You know what I mean? And for me, I'm proof of it because I don't think I have natural talent. Like when I was coming up, one of the brothers that helped me, God bless his dad, his name was T-Rick, right? And he was like the nicest barber around here. Like he was a young boy. He was around the same age. He was 15, I was 14. And he seemed like he just had a natural gift. And he told me, he said, yo, I can teach you how to do this. And so the deal we made, he said, yo, show me how to DJ. I'll show you how to cut hair. I said, all right. So he started practicing. And then it took one barber. He's my boy now, but it was an older brother named Bernard. And I was on the bus with him. And I had bought my first pair of clippers and I was showing him the clippers on the bus. He was like, yeah, man, these are good, man. You know, you're gonna do good. And when we got off that bus at the barbershop, he was like the clown of the shop. He was like, oh man, we got the floor sweeper trying to cut hair. And I was sitting there, I was like, this motherfucker, bro, like you really was just giving me props on the bus, and now you're trying to show off on me. And that was the day I said, all right, you know what? I'm gonna show you I'm gonna be better than you one day. And so that was my motivation that really made me go hard and do it. So anything that I learned, if I take it up, I'm gonna try my best to go and be the best at it, like the absolute best. But
that's dope. It doesn't come off as arrogance. It's just funny to me, like, because Corey, I'm telling you, it reminds me of the rappers. He like, yo, I'm not even a barber. I was the nicest in South Jersey, and it's not even what I do. Like,
yo, he sound like me because I'm like, man, I'm really a ball player, but I'm just, you know what I mean? Like, I'm an artist. Like the thing, if you know anything about me, I'm super artsy. You wouldn't get that from anything that you hear come out my mouth. But I'm super artsy. Like
Corey think he the best at anything he do. So it don't matter whether we talking ball. Like Corey can tell you he the greatest heart that ever lived.
That's how it all starts with confidence.
Listen,
it all starts with confidence. You're going to have to beat me. I'm not going to beat me. You're going to have to beat me. You're going to have to show me you're better than me. You're never going to get me to beat myself.
Yeah, I heard that. CJ. Let me go back to this though. I want to go back to this because you said that the same time that you got into the whole barbering thing, although it wasn't your focus, but you got into it, you learned about investing. Who was it that like really schooled you to what investing was and turned you on to investing?
Yeah, so it was another barber. Matter of fact, is my best friend's father. His name is Daryl Scott, and we called him Stockmaster. Like he's when I say he's one of the funniest dudes you ever meet. He's one of them guys that's funny without trying to be funny. Like when we was kids, we'd be so annoyed by him talking about the stock market all day long. Every day he had CNBC on in the shop, and I mean it was the most annoying thing ever. And so, but I listened to him. So like when he was telling me like, yo, buy this, buy that, he was a buy and hold investor. He didn't really trade, do any day trading like that. But he's the one that taught me how, like, I was young, he would teach me how to manage my money. And I mean, I used to go in the barbershop back then. We were open from 6 a.m. to like 10 o'clock at night. So he used to have me like, look, man, you see all these other barbers, they come in at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. You need to be here at 6. Come in at 6, 7 no more. So I would come at 6. And every day from 6 to 12 o'clock, he was like, yo, as soon as you make your first $100, he would take me to the bank and deposit the money right in the bank. And that's how I learned how to structure myself. Because a lot of barbers, you know, they don't be having, they don't make money, but they don't ever have no money, never have no credit, and no proof of income, nothing. So he taught me all those things, and he taught me how to invest. So back then, we were doing things like the drip program and stuff, because it was a lot more, cost a lot more to actually get into the market back then. I think it was like 10 trades back then. So now I shout out to him, but the only thing I didn't learn, like, I didn't have a discipline for the market then. So what happened, I remember he saw me using, I was probably one of the first barbers around here that was using Square payment system when it first came out. And so when they went public, I think that was in 2012, he had said to me one day, he said, yo, you see that little thing you be using, man, they just went public, man, you should buy that stock. And I said, all right. So I think it came out $8. I think I bought it in the Square when it was like 18, and I held it until it got around 90 some dollars or so, and I sold it, and then I was kicking myself later. So how I ended up getting back reintroduced to the markets, like, folks, I always would just buy like index funds and stuff and just do that. But probably in 2019, I had an event in the barbershop very similar to what we about to do on Sunday. So, and the reason I had it, because same thing, a lot of people used to come in the shop talking about investing and stuff. So I said, look, you know, all I knew was buy and hold. That's all I knew. So I said, look, at this event, and you know, I'm inviting people out here, you know, to talk investing. So what happened? One of the brothers, that he was a former client of mine, and he trades, and I used to always warn people against trading. So I said, nah, don't touch trade. But he came and he talked about trading, and so he made a recommendation to me. He said, yo, I can teach you how to trade. I was like, I don't think I want to do that, man. Like, the niggas be blowing their money. Like, I had a client of mine. He used to own a radio station down here, The Touch. He owned like 4 radio stations here. And after he sold his stations and he retired, he got heavy into day trading real bad. And the stress of it killed him. Like, he was a normally healthy dude, and he died from that. And so I was always like, well, now I'm doing trader, man. They think, you know, I'm gonna die. so what happened? The African brother, he shout out my man Dennis. He told me, he said, yo, why don't go up to what is that, in King of Prussia, online trading academy. He said, I took a class there. Man, I went there. I was all excited to go. And they started running back these numbers, 20,000, 30. I said, I'm not, no way in the world I'm paying no $30,000 to learn how to do this. So what happened, I went online and I started just researching and stuff. And so one day I'm in the shop and I'm cutting Jasmine's hair. And so I saw her on, might have been Robinhood or something she was buying. And I asked her, I said, what you into? And she said, oh, no, you know, I trade options. So I was like, really? I said, I took this class about it, and I'm trying to learn, but I don't really trust none of these people because they talking these astronomical numbers. So he told me, she said, well, you know, Leslie, that's what she the one taught me. She rolling. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. So I hadn't seen Leslie in years. Me and Leslie used to work together at the youth advocate program.
Okay.
That was a little side hustle I was doing. So I reached out to Leslie, and then she turned me on to everything, like it was nothing. And so that's what reinvigorated me into the financial literacy thing. And ever since then, my journey as a trader, like, you know, I'll be winning and I'll be losing. But the way I look at this is, it took me, I want to say, 5 years before I was a good barber, right? So like, and I was good. Like, I thought I was nice, but I wasn't nice. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, I could get them out the door once I got to my 10th year, I thought I was nice. But then when I got to 15 years, I look back on my 10th year and like, nah, he was nothing. And so now at 25 years in, I look back on 15 and 17. Like I'm way better than like you just consistently get better
Get
and
better
better.
over time. Yeah.
Yes, the way that I approach trading, some people they look at it and they say, look, well, I'm YouTube reckless, but I'm only in my second, probably like 2.5 years in trading now. So the way I look at like, fuck it, like I got another 22 years to do this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm looking at how good am I going to be in 10 years or 20 years. So the even though trading does stress me out a little bit sometimes, but my ultimate goal is to be a master investor. Like, so the trading is for my investing purposes. Like, I'm trying to do this as a second income. And I want to be nice at this, like I'm in barbering. So this is literally my retirement plan. Like, I don't think I'm ever going to be in a position where, like, I don't have, like, I mean, I got a 401k and IRA and all that stuff, but I don't have, like, a pension coming or, so when I fall back and retire, it's my investments I want to take care of me and my ability to trade, So that's the long term.
No, that's a dope story, and I want to like send a special shout out to Jazz as well as like Leslie, like those are good sisters, and we build with them as well, and they do phenomenal work, and that's dope how they got you, because I've seen you trade and you're pretty good. I didn't realize that when you told me this recently that you've only been doing it 2.5 years. I'm like, wow. You know what I mean? Yeah. You do got some of the you got to calm down some of your YOLO spirit. Like you got a little bit of that YOLO spirit. Like, yo, I'm going in. Like, you know what I mean? But you're really good at it already. But you said something earlier about, you said anything that you start doing, you go all in, right? So I'm assuming it's kind of the same way with trading. You probably read the books, you watched all the videos, you probably went through that whole process, right?
Bro, I'm still buying classes. Like I bought a class on Saturday.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I bought a class on option spreads and all that just because I want to learn. Like, so on one hand, like I don't like taking L's, but I don't mind taking L's. You know what I'm saying? Because like it's a lesson, man. And the thing I like about trading the most is what you learn about yourself. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't look at myself as a greedy person, but I like to be right, and I'm trying to overcome that. You know what I mean? So like I pulled a trade yesterday, and like I look at the ATR, and I know where it's supposed to go and where it should go by what time. Like my charting got way better. I was one of them people, I don't want to do charts at all. And now taking L's made me learn charts. So then now that I'm all in the chart in the way I am, I want that shit to be right so bad sometimes that like I'll be taking an L because I'm like, damn, I could have got out and took that profit. But so learning how to control my emotions that way, that also reflects on, going back to the beginning, that reflects on my Islam. You know what I mean? Because it's three sciences of Islam. So you have belief, then you have the law, and you also have what's called Ihsan, which is purification, right? So purification is, so you learning how to, it says worship and practicing as if God, even like someone that God is watching you, even when you're not thinking about it. You know what I mean? So that's how you learn how to control your emotions and your greed and your impulses and stuff. And that's all the things that I'm learning in trading. So everything kind of coincides together. And that's what I really love about it. It ain't just the money. You know what I mean? Like some people tell me like, well, why don't you do the paper trading and stuff? But you don't get no emotion from that,
Yeah,
so,
No, it really is. But so trading has taught you a lot about yourself, like throughout your journey of learning to trade, right?
Absolutely,
yeah. That's dope. That's dope. Let me ask you this though: it's like, so since you got all into trading the way you have, has it inspired like your other, your other coworkers in the barbershop? Have they like watching you do this and Like, how's that been?
Well, I got like one of my friends, the brother that cuts right next to me, Keith, he was doing crypto, he was trading crypto and stuff, but he a real good brother, but a lot of my folks, they don't understand the importance of the long-term investing. You know what I mean? So like me, even though like fun, all the young people want to do is trade. Just I want to trade, I want to sports bet, let me gamble. Like it's like, nah, bro, you gotta have a method to this. You know what I mean? So like I could take an L on some trade, I could take a few L's, but one thing ain't gonna stop. I'm dollar cost averaging into my portfolio every single week, every month, like a consistent. I'm buying Bitcoin every week. Like I gotta protect myself, and so that was one of the reasons why I wanted to do this. You know, a lot of people I know, they come in the barbershop. They whenever the wave was, when it was Forex, they was on that wave. When it was crypto, they on that wave. When it was the loom,
so they just ride whatever wave is popping at the current time.
Dogecoin, and I'm like, nah, man, it ain't it. Like you gotta have some fundamentals here, and so and it's the same thing in the Muslim community. Like you know, I hate seeing our people just getting the short end of the stick with everything. Like you know, it took us in Atlantic City, it took us years to get our building. You know, so now our masjid actually owns the building that we were renting for years. We paid off the mortgage and you know, we actually own it outright. And but you'll see these other communities, whether it's the Bengalis, the Pakistanis, the Egyptians, they come in, they set up a little Quran school, they teach their children, and next thing you know, they go buy their own building. And then we got nothing. We didn't make nothing up. We made a couple of dollars here and there. So like I've been telling my community, like, yo, man, like we don't gotta have everybody in the community come here and give donations. We can invest as a community. You know what I mean? Or you can we can set up, you can invest as a organization, you know, and it's like in one ear out the other, because people don't, that's not their regular practice in their personal lives. And so that's my thing now for just for the community. Like, look, man, if you actually want to affect some change here, you have to make some money. Like, we ain't gonna do this with a bunch of hopes and dreams and just, I mean, prayers are definitely needed, but it can't just be that, you know. So
so let me ask you this, right? Because one of the things that you do, right? So you know, you have your shop, you're trading, but you also, you know, care about the community. You open your space up to do things like what we are going to do this Sunday. Is that something that you always envisioned when you got the shop, or something that you started doing? You always envisioned as a community space?
Absolutely. Even when we when we first opened, that's, I mean, I've hosted plenty of things. Like I've got 2 floors in my barbershop. So I mean, well, we started off with 2 floors. Now the upstairs is a salon, but I mean, we've always hosted things. I actually have one of my friends. You might see him on my posts all the time. His name is on Facebook. It says Quasi Shelton, but his name is Quadir. He actually is he has his own personal finance firm. Like he's probably gonna end up being probably one of the biggest Black finance firms. He's out of Houston now, but he's originally from Atlantic City, and I don't know, y'all remember the story when probably in, what was this, 2007 or 6, and the brother that was he was staying in front of the Def Jam building every day trying to get Jay-Z to sign him. You remember that story?
I vaguely do remember that, yeah.
Well, this is him. This is where he ended up at, and I'm so proud of him, bro. Like he was outside of the Def. He's a great, phenomenal rapper, bro. Like phenomenal. Yeah. He's probably one of the best ever come out of Atlantic City. And but he stayed outside the Def Jam building every day trying to get Jay-Z to sign him. And then, you know, his career, you know, he put out some dope music, but he ended up in the financial field. And so what I was bringing him up for is because he dropped the album. He did like a return album probably 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and I was able to host his listening party for his album. So, like, whether it was that or I've had like I said, financial programs for the community. I've had mixers. We've done. I mean, I'm open for everything. If somebody want to do a baby shower or something like.
Yeah, so it's almost like an event space as well as a barbershop.
Yeah, and it's nice. And that's the thing. Like we've hosted the fight at the shop. It's a good thing just to have. So just to give back. You know what I mean? And
community.
Yeah, that's important. I'm always shocked that because some other barbers do that as well, but some don't. Some like no, that's not what we do. Like so. Yeah. But that's interesting. Like, and congratulations on that, and keep doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, another thing I do want to do real quick is I want to shout out everybody in Atlantic City because I actually lived in Atlantic City for a minute, right off of Monroe Avenue. But that's either here nor there. Yeah. Core, you got any questions for the brother?
I do. I have a couple questions. One, during your journey, who was the person besides yourself that had the most confidence in you?
And confidence in me?
Yeah. Like that helped you to kick over.
He named about 4 or 5 people that helped him along the way already.
I know. Yeah, of course. The brother Daryl Scott, and I want to say is another brother named Mikhail Abdullah. He was a brother that actually gave me shahada. He taught me how to cut hair. This brother taught me how to tie, bro. Like I did everything in the shop. I remember when I went to the prom, I put my suit on and walked over to the shop. And he fixed my cummerbund and all. Like so if it wasn't for that, like the barbershop literally raised me, and so we've been able to do that for other youth in the community, not just young men either, like young men and women that actually grew up in the barbershop under us. So that's definitely
yeah. And then the sense of community, where did that come from? Or was it just because so many people poured into you wanted to do the same for other people?
Definitely because people poured into me. You know what I mean? And I really, like I appreciate all that because the kind of kid I was, like I was always in the middle. Like I got nerd friends and I got hood friends. And so my hood friends are super duper hood. Like, I got one of my best friends, we got 3 life sentences. And then my other friends are straight church nerds. And, so
yeah,
I always was kind of right in the middle. Like I could go either side. And I just never got in any trouble because I was in a barbershop. Like I just ain't had time for that. Like it was times. I remember one time these niggas came to the shop looking for me over something that somebody else did. I ain't really had nothing to do with. And they, and that could have went way left. You know what I mean? Like I done gotten myself in some real like sticky situations, and because of the shop, like you just like, let him go. Like he ain't really got anything to do with that. You know what I mean? So, it's definitely, not just on a positive side too. Like I grew up in a shop where there was a lot of drug addicts. Like so I always looked at that and I said, I'm not touching, like I don't do nothing. I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't hit no weed, I don't do nothing. And I never did. Like even before I was Muslim, like I never messed with none of that stuff, only because I saw the effects of it on other people. So that's kind of where that came from. I don't judge nobody to do it. It's just when I look, like being in the shop gave me like the good and the bad of everything. You know what I mean? Gotcha. So the only thing I didn't listen to, like when they told me not to have kids, like, and I remember brother told me that, don't do this. And I said, bro, she already pregnant. He said, man, you're gonna end up in child support. Sure enough, that's exactly the fuck. I love my kids, but I should listen, man.
Now, let me ask you this question. Along this journey, right? What is the biggest hurdle that you had to overcome to get you from where you started to where you are now?
It's always the ego. It's always my ego, bro. Like it ain't nobody else. It ain't no money. It's any mistakes I've made in business because of stuff I was stubborn about, or any money I fucked up is because I was being stubborn. It always comes back to yourself. So it's always
what helps you with that? What helps you battle that? Like, as you deal with that?
Nah, just being humble. Like anytime I messed up, I ask. Like you see, I don't mind I hit one of y'all or Leslie or whoever, like, yo, I need help with this. And it's the same way I am in the group. So we're just being transparent. Like, I just learned to be. I'm like that in my relationships. I'm like that with my children. Like I try to be as honest and transparent as possible. I don't want to give all my information up all the time, but just being straight up, you know. So
yeah, but let me ask you that though. Where does that come from? Because I know that we all grew up in similar communities, and a lot of times we're taught not to even ask for help. Like what I mean, you got to figure it out yourself. But you're able to humble yourself, say, "Yo, I messed up. Where did I mess up?" Like that comes from somewhere. Like what allowed you, or what gave you the ability to open up that way and be humble and admit when you need help with something?
I don't know. I mean, I've always been straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
I got a divorce about my ex. One of my exes, she fucked me up, bro. Like, so when I went through that divorce, I had to go to therapy for.
Okay.
And so I went to therapy, and of all people, I had a white woman therapist. It was the best therapist ever. But she kind of like, they tell you, like, and I always thought I was pretty direct before then, but she had me hone in on those things, like just being straightforward, being honest. And so now I don't go through that like in my current relationships enough. So like it's sometimes it might rub people the wrong way. Like it's always an argument in a barbershop about whether, like, I don't know if y'all saw that video, but like whether or not I'm arrogant or I know everything. I mean, I don't think so, but like some people, they get turned off by directness, you know what I mean? But I'm not apologizing for that. Like I've been that way since I was a kid, but I've learned as an adult how to be considerate of how I come off to other people. But I'm not going to change me either. So it's kind of like a tricky thing. I just don't respect people that fake. You know what I mean? Like people that fake, or people that I don't respect manipulative people. I just don't respect liars. I understand. I ain't trying to get too deep here, but like sometimes there is a necessity to lie based on whatever the circumstances. Like there's an actual hadith of the Prophet where he said that if you're trying to piece something up between two friends, basically, in that case you should lie. Like in that regard, cool. But people that just lie and live off of women and women that live off men, I don't respect none of that shit, bro. Like, and so I don't like people that hold, not the person, but I don't like to see people that hold in their true feelings. Like, I would rather just come out and say it, and that's just always who I've been. And like I said, therapy has helped me fine tune that a little bit,
Oh, that's dope. That's dope. So you actually have someone help you with that. Now let me ask you this question. What is your favorite book, or a book that's inspired you along this journey?
Of course, the Quran. It's the most important book. The Quran, and there's another book. It's not religious book. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Like, that's my
that book is fire.
Yeah, that's a fire book.
Yeah, I tell anybody to read that.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Now, let me ask you this question, right? We talked about where you started. We talked about your journey. We talked about, you getting into trading. Talked about how good you are at trading. What's the future hold for you? Listen, bro, listen, you're better than you give yourself credit for it, man. Like, you're able, put it like this. A lot of people, I know people that have been trading for a while that still can't find their own trades. Right. So that, but we could get into that another time. But let me ask you this question though. What does the future look like for you? What are some of the things you're looking to do in the future? As it pertains to the community, to shop, trading, whatever it may be. What's your future look like?
Well, I'm trying to get as paid as y'all niggas one day.
I'm broke, baby.
Y'all paid. I'm trying to get paid and free like y'all. I'm trying to get from behind the chair. Not totally, but partially, not as much as I am. And I want to get my daughter married. I definitely want to help the community in the local community get
Mhm.
to a place where, you know, they're more financially free, and specifically the black people in general, black people,
Mhm.
and specifically black Muslims. I want to get to just a higher understanding of what we believe, what we do, where we put our money at, where we spread our interests in. Like that's my goal. So that's
Okay.
in the future. I just see myself I'm always going to be in the hair industry in some capacity, but I just want to scale back, and I want to be trading. I don't want to say, I use trading loosely. I don't literally mean trading. I want to be living off my financial decisions.
Investing.
That's my goal.
Investment.
My
Yeah.
investments.
Okay. I mean, that's dope stuff, man. Listen, I do have to say is that this Sunday, right? So this Sunday at CJ Shop, Corey and I will be in the building, live in the flesh, giving a presentation. The financial presentation is completely free.
Mhm.
And we want to make sure that we, pour into folks and answer questions and help people get set up. So, we can just help our people. Like CJ said, we're kind of on the same wavelength. This is our brother. So we just going to pull up and do what we got to do. So I just want to say thank you first and foremost for being a member of our community and helping us out, with what you do in terms of being transparent.
Man, thank you for having
that,
me. This is way cooler than a Bacchus.
There you go. He's sending shots.
No. Let me tell you. Hold up, real shit. I was talking to Court yesterday, right? And you know how hurt I was over that shit, bro. Like, and I ain't trying to send no shots, but because I loved it. Like when I tell you I was pro, like, a Bacchus, like I was drinking a Kool-Aid. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Real shit.
yeah.
And when it kind of just went the way it went, I was kind of like, damn, what we gonna do now? You know what I mean? Like, and then Leslie's like, yo, man, these brothers got this thing, and yo, this is it's not like me comparing it, but this is more aligned with what I like to do. You know what I mean? And it's sounding corny when you keep saying, oh, the community, but that's really like what I like to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I really like doing community work.
It's spaces for people like us that like to
Yeah.
really do.
I mean, and
that
that's
like
the
to
thing,
really
right?
be in the community.
And that's no shot at anybody, but we consider ourselves a community organization, right? So we do our podcast, but Corey and I are literally in the streets like every day, whether it's educating or actually doing the stuff we talk about with the real estate. This Saturday, the Saturday before we come out to you, we're doing an event for high school kids in Philadelphia, right? Nicetown. And then Sunday we write in Pleasantville. So this is what we do. So, but listen, we appreciate everybody that helps us build this, because brothers like yourself, Leslie, Jazz, we appreciate all you, because you guys have kind of helped us see our vision through, because we all learn and share with each other, right? You know what I mean? I could jump in Leslie's inbox or your inbox. Hey, what y'all think about this? We got our various groups. Even what we did with the MDC, with the Discord, I have people that I could pick up the phone any time of day and send a message, and I'll get a response back from someone that looks like me that's actually doing it. And I think that's very powerful. So, the more folks that we put in and help people get free and help people.
There is power in community. There's power in relationships, and that's what people don't understand.
Yeah,
the power in relationships pay the best dividends. There's no financial instrument that will pay you the dividends that relationships will pay.
Absolutely.
Because if you had the right relationships, you never have to have money.
Never have to have
if you
man, listen, some of the most powerful people I know in this city don't have money, but they can pick up their phone and get anything. They can get food, shelter, clothing, guns, butter, literally, whatever they want. They can pick up their phone and get it done. But that comes from building relationships, man. So I just want to say thank you for being a part of that. Other thing I got to say before we get out of here too is that so Corey and I do our free camp in the summer, as everyone knows, and it starts for kids ages 5 and up. We teach kids the fundamentals of investing, crypto, real estate, the stock market, the whole nine. And this year, we're looking to make it bigger and better. We have companies and sponsorships that are working with us. So on June 18th, we're having a black tie gala, right? And it's going to be amazing. Everything that comes from that gala goes to the kids. Corey and I, this is not for us. This is literally for the people, right? For the babies. And so I want to make sure I'm going to put a link to a video that you can see about it right within the description. I'm also going to put all CJ's links so you can, check out, his Instagram, which goes crazy because you see a bunch of beautiful ladies getting their hair cut, and then you see like 600% trades he makes. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? So you got to make sure you guys follow him on IG. His IG is amazing. But this black tie event, though, we got a DJ Active, and DJ Active is like, that guy, for those who don't know, is being catered. But you got to, we got, you know what I mean? You got to throw your little, it's black tie, though. So, but this is
my Timberlake. Get my Timberlake on.
But this is all for the youth and our camp. We'll be back this summer. But CJ, just want to say before we get out of here, brother, like we really appreciate you, man. We can't wait to kick it with you on Sunday and put on for the people, man. But continue to do the work that you're doing even outside of this, man, providing jobs, helping people, and just being a good brother, man. We want to say we appreciate you.
No, thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So I'm going to put all CJ's links within the description. For everybody that watches us.
My YouTube link in there, man.
You said your OnlyFans what?
That's coming. I'm about 35 pounds down, so I'm 40. It's coming, man.
I'm joking, no.
Yo, listen, real shit though. You know, somebody hit me on Instagram, right? And I don't be trying to be crazy, right? But the lady hit me on Instagram, told me I should start posting in the big dudes hashtags, right? So, and I was like, damn, should I? Like, I thought about it, but I just can't bring myself doing it. You know what I'm saying? But they be coming to me like that. I'll be like, nah, I can't. Like, if the women do it for me, then I do it. So if they ask for the OnlyFans, they get it. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so listen, with that being said, we're gonna make sure we put whatever link that CJ Pauls wants me to put down there, YouTube, Instagram, whatever it may be. If by the time this comes out, he got the OnlyFans popping, we'll post that too. But listen though, for our audience out there, as we always say, it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much you keep. Game elevates, and we'll see y'all on our next episode. We appreciate y'all. Peace.
All right, thanks, bro.